Hello there. My name is Adam, and I'm a criminal defense attorney, and I have been for the past 3 years. And before that, I worked for a few judges, and before that, I worked alongside law enforcement. And over the past 5 or 6 years, I've worked on or seen literally thousands of cases, many of which involve violent acts. I have a lot of data points to base my opinions off of. And I also have tens of thousands of rounds downrange, and I've owned over 50 guns. So between those two things, I feel that I'm uniquely qualified to speak on self-defense topics. And today's topic is why I Israeli carry. And what Israeli carry is carrying a semi-automatic pistol with a loaded magazine but without a round chambered. And there are downsides, admittedly, but there are lots of upsides. I believe that the pros vastly outweigh the cons, and I'm going to show you what I mean. First, I'd like to discuss my everyday carry gun. For the past 4 years, I've carried a Ruger LCP2 single stack 380 semi-automatic pistol. It is cleared, got an empty magazine, and I carry it in this pocket locker. So pocket holster, Kydex. But because I'm fat, it's very uncomfortable to carry appendix style with a belt inside the waistband holster. So I just carry the pocket holster. Now I'm going to use these two snap caps to demonstrate the difference it takes time-wise to draw from concealment and chamber around, and then also how quick it is to just draw from concealment with a round already chambered. So, first, I will chamber around, draw, and fire. Now, I will draw without a round chambered. Rack the slide and fire. Admittedly, it takes a little bit longer if you're doing it this way. However, in my experience, there are in 95% of cases, or probably more than 2 or 3 seconds available before the person actually reaches the other person. You have, in other words, 2 or 3 seconds advance notice before the violence is reaching you. And that's more than enough time, even Israeli carrying, to draw, rack the slide, chamber the round, and get a shot off. Now, there are a few cases where someone's being ambushed or taken by surprise because they weren't paying attention. And in those few cases, maybe, just maybe, you get hurt or killed because you're Israeli carrying. However, in my line of work, I also see tons of negligence. I see people who are simply tired, and yet they kill someone because they're driving. They're not drunk. They're not on painkillers. They're not high. They're just tired. Or they're just distracted. They're daydreaming, or they're checking their phone. Very often, people carrying firearms, have a negligent discharge. I have seen way more negligent discharges in person at gun ranges than I have ever seen people getting mugged. I've never been mugged more than once. I've been mugged once, or rather an attempted mugging, which is why I wasn't going to say it's a mugging, but one attempted mugging my entire life. And yet, I get tired. I make mistakes. I do stupid things. I, put something like my cell phone in the fridge instead of something else. Just absent-mindedness. And I'm much more afraid of accidentally shooting myself due to that, or even just due to trying to reholster. A lot of people reholster, but you get like a drawstring from a hoodie caught within the trigger guard, and you don't realize it, and you go to reholster, and you just, shoot yourself, or or get close to it. I've never done that, luckily. I know people who have grazed their leg or their behind. And so, due to all the data points I've seen, it is much safer, all things considered, to Israeli carry. And the chance of you injuring yourself due to negligent discharge is so much greater than you dying because you had to take an extra second to chamber around that I believe everyone should Israeli carry, unless your job suggests that you're going to have a lot of dangerous encounters. Which leads me to my next point. I practice drawing and chambering around at the range quite often. If you're on Israeli carry, you need to practice doing so. But I also practice carrying with a round chambered because if I know I'm going into a dangerous situation or I see a shady individual, I will go aside and I will chamber around. And then I will go back to what I was doing with a round chambered. So if I have advance notice that a situation is about to get hairy, I will carry chambered. Now, the other downside to Israeli carry is you have to use two hands, normally. And on the LCP2, that's true. However, I also have a Ruger Max 9. On the Ruger Max 9, you can see right here, the rear sights have a large flat surface. And if you need to, if your other hand is being held by someone, you can rack that slide off of a table or other sort of corner of something, counter, and just rack the slide off of it using that as leverage. And I practice that too at the range on the bench there, and it works okay, but it's not 100% reliable. So, my opinion is most people, most everyday individuals should carry Israeli. Thank you.